Hey guys, Tyler Jeffcoat here. Welcome to this episode of Return on Podcast. And man, do I have a treat for you in today's episode. I'm very fascinated with the idea of trying new business ventures, failing forward, and ultimately building a 7 or 8 figure company out of it. It's been parts of my story. And my guest today, Michael Rosenfeld, is an Amazon seller selling in the US, EU, Japan, the United Emirates, and has just launched in India. He has, I think, 5 brands that he's managing, but he has the largest brand in one category, really dominant brand, really dominant player. And the products in this brand are in a category where he's not allowed to use Amazon's PPC. He can't advertise. He has to leverage his reviews. He has to leverage having a better product. And he has to leverage using variations within the existing products to build his empire. He's been very, very successful in doing this. I just wanted to bring him onto the show today to pick his brain, learn what makes Michael tick. Very just large entrepreneurial spirit. He's built a conference in the EU area. So for anyone who's German or Russian speaking, who's looking for support as an Amazon seller, I would definitely look at the MAD conference in Warsaw, Poland. May have just happened in June as we're launching this episode. But just Michael's a cool dude. You're going to like this interview. And so without further ado, let's dive into today's episode with Michael Rosenfeld. It's time to maximize profitability and cash flow. It's time to learn habits and hacks from the best e-com CEOs. It's time for Return on Podcast with me, Tyler Jeffcoat. All right. Hey, guys, in today's episode, I'm excited to bring my friend Michael Rosenfeld on to Return on Podcast. Michael, how are you doing today?
Yes, hi Tyler. Thank you very much. I'm very good here in Warsaw. We have great sun. How are you?
It's great. Yeah, we also have great sun here on the East Coast in the States. You might be thinking to yourself, Tyler, Michael, different continents. What's really funny, Michael, is that I've actually met you. So we were at a conference together in Prague, in the Czech
Mhm.
Republic, there about 2 months ago, and was really impressed, Michael, with your story and how you have evolved as an Amazon seller. And so I just want to say again, thanks for joining the show today. Just to kind of introduce you to my audience, I'd love to. I always ask people, like, okay, you started a business, like, why? What went wrong? What was going on in your life when you decided it's time to take the plunge and become an entrepreneur?
Well, this is actually my third try on Amazon, and the first two I failed. And I learned about Amazon just by accident via YouTube video. And before that, I tried to create custom engraved iPhone cases, but it didn't work out. Yes. Lesson number one, never buy your equipment on Kickstarter.
Ooh.
So where I waited like 1 year for my laser engravers, and then okay, it didn't work out, and I had like 300 wooden iPhone cases next to my bed, and I saw this Amazon video, and then I thought, okay, now I sell iPhone cases on Amazon, and this was my fail number one on Amazon, but I learned quickly. Right?
Yep. So number one was a fail. My dad always called that education expense, right? It's the money we burn learning how to do things the right way. I totally get it. So the custom engraving business was a no-go. And then where did you go after that?
Yes, the next thing after that, there was another phone accessory like pop sockets at that time, but this was the first time when I got confronted with patents. So I created my own designs. They started selling very well, buying them for 68 cent dollar cent and selling them for 10 euros or 9 euros. Great margins, shipping in small envelopes. So I grew in 6 months. I grew from zero to maybe 500 euros in sales per day. And for
Wow.
me, this was insane because at that time I was working as a consultant, as a Salesforce consultant, and my salary was about with bonuses 70,000 euros per year. And now I got a business which makes what 15,000 per month in sales. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I thought, okay, I will become rich. And I took my girlfriend, and then we went to Italy. And for me, I was feeling like a millionaire. So first time in Italy, and money is made automatically on it by itself, and I can relax on the beach. And just one day after my trip began, I got an email from another seller who told me, "Hey, look at this. There is a patent life from original pop socket." And I thought actually I have maybe 1 year more time, because I spoke to a lawyer and he told me, okay, patents takes usually like 5 years, so you have 1 year more, so don't worry. And then it took not it, it wasn't 1 year, then it was like 5 weeks. Yeah, and just at that time I ordered 5,000 units to my house. So I wanted to avoid any problems with the patents. I was super afraid of patents, so I closed everything that I had. My business went, yeah, to zero in one day, and I still have the products, the 5,000 units that I ordered.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute, you still have them? Do you just have like a pallet of these in your garage or what?
Yeah, somewhere in the basement of my parents. Yeah. After, so for me it was a lot of money at that time, and
Yep.
then I tried to sell them outside of Amazon, sell them on eBay, or go to brick and mortar stores, or like gas stations, and whatever. Yeah, I learned a lot about direct sales, and it's much more difficult than selling on Amazon.
Yeah. So, guys, if you go to one of Michael's meetups or his MAD conference in Warsaw, Poland, expect some of the freebies that he's giving away to probably be some of these pop sockets, because he's got plenty of them. So,
Yeah.
so I love it, dude. I love it. So, okay, but not all of your experiments didn't go well. So after the pop socket failure, by the way, that's happened to others of us where I had a client that really started scaling an idea quickly, only to realize, just like you, that they were violating someone's intellectual property. And then the flip side of it, one of my clients is the guys that invented this really great shower product, invented it, had a patent on it, but then every like kind of knockoff in the world hit the marketplace, and the sheer legal fees of trying to fight off some of these large competitors. So when it comes to intellectual property, the lesson is that it's hard. But okay, so after the
Yeah.
pop its journey, where did you head next, Michael?
Then I learned some wise men who said that you need to do business where you're expert, uh, people need it, and you like it. And then at that time, I was traveling a lot as consultant, like every week, and I didn't have any other hobby than coming back from a business travel home and smoking hookah.
Easy enough.
And then I thought, okay, this is my hobby. What can I sell in hookah? I open Amazon, type in hookah, and I see, okay, hookah charcoal and charcoal burner. And charcoal, so one is electrical product, which is super complex to sell in Europe. And I was living in Germany at that time. Yes, so I was starting from Amazon Germany. And the other one is like a consumable product which you need to buy in volumes. You need to start with the container of charcoal, which is $30,000. Yes, so I decided to start the charcoal burner, the electrical product, and then I spent the next 6 months preparing. And in January 2018, I started selling. Yeah, I missed the Christmas time, as always. Everything takes longer and costs more, but
Yeah.
still I made it. And 5 years later, or 6 years later, I'm still selling this product with much less margin than before, but anyway, it's still selling.
And more than $500 a day, I think, at this point, right? This has become a much more successful venture, right?
Yes, a bit more. Yes,
Yeah.
$600.
There you go. $522. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it is kind of fun. I love, by the way, some of the best entrepreneur stories, the founder stories that are, okay, I know that I have grit. I know that I like to work hard. I know that I want to create. I know that I like to make money, but I'm going to have to fail forward a couple of times to kind of find my niche. And I love the wisdom of what you said there of, if if I can find the thing that I'm already kind of passionate about, where I'm the customer, I understand the use of this product, and I can turn that into a profitable business. I'm assuming selling hookahs is probably, there's a lot of like regulatory issues and challenges. I'm sure there is some real. I'm sure it's harder than selling some product types, and that might actually be your advantage, right? Is to make it harder for competitors. Has that kind of been your experience?
Actually, yes, in long term, yes. But at the beginning, it's like a sexy niche, yes, and
Yeah.
a lot of people would like to become like the hookah king, yes, and show off in front of girls that they sell hookah, whatever. And then a lot of small sellers entered the market during the last years, but most of them are already gone because,
Mm.
like, for in the hookah niche, for us, for example, it's normal that every ASIN gets banned by Amazon after
Mm.
3 or 4 weeks. Yes, so this is like a standard process. They ban it. They think it's like drugs or hemp related something.
Right.
Then we need to do some cases, some work with this with support, and then we reinstate the ASINs. Like we reinstate them in 99% of
Okay.
cases. Yes, but in the beginning it was like a micro heart attack when it happened. But now
Yeah.
it's like standard.
Well, especially because
So
you had the traumatic past of, your showing your girlfriend a good time in Italy and realize that you got shut down for IP violations. And now you launch a new product and Amazon's like, sorry, we're gonna call you for a TOS violation. And yeah, I could see that being more than a minor heart attack, right? That's probably pretty stressful.
yes, yes. Actually, I was like my whole account was suspended multiple times, and I reinstated. I had over, I don't know, 200 product suspensions that we reinstated also because of CE certificates and all the other stuff in Europe and UL, ETL, everything in USA. So we are maybe, yeah, we are probably professionals in reinstating. Yes. I never wanted it.
Right, right.
It's not fun. Okay, but it is how it is.
No, I
And
totally get that. I feel like, by the way, I
and
feel similar. Like I graduated college and I never thought to myself, you know what I want to do with my life? I want to become an expert at taking complex PayPal accounts and reconciling 20 currencies. That, you know what I want to do? That's what I want to do. Or something like, you know what I want to do with my life? I would really love how to parse out landed cost of goods sold for products that are coming from a 3PL in Vietnam, but were manufactured in China. Like it is funny how life takes its turns and you end up becoming the absolute expert in some really crazy niche of the world. And, we laugh because it's like, I'm grateful. I'm glad to be an expert,
yeah,
but like, you're kind of like, really? I do TOS cases with Amazon for a living. Like, really? That's my competitive advantage. Okay, great. Um,
yes, it's like it's it's the other way. Like if you first become the expert and then you start loving it. Yes,
Good
and
point.
then this slowly becomes maybe like your passion or your USP. Yes,
Uh, yeah, yep.
and so hookah niche, yes. And the second point is obviously we have no PPC, and PPC is not allowed in we sell in US, in Europe, in Japan, in Emirates. I hope from this month also in India. Uh, yes, and nowhere we have PPC. It's a pure organic sales brand. Yes.
But tell me about that. So what's wild about your brand? Again, it's a brand, and yet you're, US, EU, Japan, United Emirates. You said you're going to try to get into India, but because of the category, you're not allowed to use a lot of PPC advertising. In fact, none. Like, how has that experience been for you, and what does it look like to build really, really durable listings that move product when you don't really have the option of advertising? Like, what do you feel like has made you successful in that area?
I think readiness to suffer losses for a long time and selling with negative profit for months. Yes, and over the course of half a year, the loss becomes less, and you slightly increase the price. This is how it worked mm, some years ago, but now obviously we have a big brand, and now it's like automated launches, right? So I have 200 ASINs in this brand ASIN 201 is pulled by the traffic that it gets from other ASINs. We just put it everywhere on A plus, and it's pulled automatically.
Yeah, I think that's the key is if you've earned that trust from your customers, the reviews are there, the quality of the product is there, and now you've been doing it so long that you've really done a great job of managing your supply chain, right? You're making product in India, Indonesia, Poland, Germany, even here in the US. I
Yeah.
think my perspective, kind of looking from the outside, Michael, is that you've become really, really good at creating a great, superior product, and then you've understood kind of instinctively how to manage the Amazon marketplaces by building trust. Because guess what? Most of us just kind of cheat. We use the PPC. We take the same losses that you're describing, but we take them much more quickly because we can invest in a product using pay-per-click or DSP or something like that. You don't have that luxury. You're having to kind of really. And so, okay, let me ask you an economics, a CFO boy question here for a second.
Yes.
How do you do the financial planning? And this is a weird question, but like let me give you an example. Like whenever I'm trying to help my clients launch a new product, we always expect to lose money for the first couple of months because we're building traction with that new product. But we have a plan, and that plan is very much a math problem. Okay, if we can get this much margin in the product and we're going to have to take a loss for 3 months, as long as we ultimately have an ACOS of this, then we're okay, right? Like that kind of thing. For you, are you doing that same kind of detailed forecasting to say, okay, we can afford to invest 10K in this product, and if the product is successful, we'll know because we'll see this marker and this marker and this marker, and if it's not successful, we kill it. Like how do you approach those product launches when you don't have PPC to lean on?
Mm-hmm. Yes, maybe I'm not a good example for this because like I see something new in our niche or have some idea, and then I just tell my product manager, okay, let's do this. I think
Mm.
2,000 pieces. Let's go. And then they launch it. Yeah. So basically, we have a really high success rate in this brand. Yes, we have 3 other brands. There it's more difficult, but
Yeah.
here it's just easier. Yes, and right now, right now we need maybe 2 months selling without profit or with losses, and from the third month we start making profit. So it's not anymore like 6 or 9 months.
Great.
And
Well, honestly, what that
yeah.
tells me is that you are very creative, Michael, and that you're also very dialed in with your customer. Like I think the fact that you can intuitively, you and your team can say, yeah, this is the next product the market needs. I see a need there. And you have enough wisdom and experience at this point to place, hey, let's buy 2,000 units. That's a pretty large bet. Um, I suspect, and I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this, who's a very large influencer in the Amazon space. And I would agree with him. I would expect that across the entire Amazon universe, the hit rate, the success rate of a product becoming a hero product is probably, like, for it to be a true hero, is probably about a 10% hit rate. So for it to be a viable product, it's probably a little less than 50% hit rate right now. And if you have a hit rate that's better than 50%, or if you have a better hero hit rate of 10%, then you're just outperforming the market because you're better at creating products that matter to those marketplaces. Which, if that's the case, kudos to you. That's really awesome. But like, have you looked at your other
Yes,
brands? Like, have you looked at your peers? Like, I mean, that like we just got to launch a bunch of products. Sometimes they don't work, right?
hero products. Yes, yes, sure. We as my business gets bigger and my team gets bigger, our success rate gets lower. So actually, in total, I think right now maybe we have four. Our success rate is maybe between 4 and 5 out of 10
Okay.
overall brands,
Mhm.
and and I don't think we have hero products. So I don't have a product that is selling like 1,000 units per day or 500 units per day even. I Yes, so I'm very diversified over many brands, products, and countries. And
That's also
And that,
interesting, though. That's a really interesting business model, though, that you have 200 ASINs or so, I think you said. And if and there's every portfolio has a couple of losers in there that are maybe hiding, but if of your 200, if like say 100 or 150 are performing moderately well, that's actually a really nice business model, right? I mean, that doesn't have as much risk because you're not dependent on one hero. So that might
yes.
actually be a strength of your business.
So yes, actually we have, for me, it's like using two strategies. So
Uh-huh.
one of them is the variation strategy. It's simple. It's what Tom Rabinovich always teaches people, or what he wrote in his book. Yes, just look for low-hanging fruits, make bigger parents, more variations. Yes, and this is how I could grow my products even without myself being involved. Yes. So when I read this book on my flight to Bali, on my stopover in Qatar, I got out of the flight. I had already 32 new SKUs in my head. And then message to the team, and they are busy for the next 3 months launching products and adding variations is super easy. It's very easy to delegate. Yes. And this comes to the second strategy is if we do like big parents with a lot of variations, and then they are easy to multiply and they are easier to delegate to the team. Yes,
Yeah.
without having yes, problems with your sleep or heart attack every day when you see what they do with your money. Yes. So this is a less risk model. Yes. Maybe it's not a get rich quick thing, but it's less risk, I think.
Well, it doesn't work in every category, but I think your point is well taken. If you've already kind of done the inventing, you've already solved some of the core problems around a particular product type, then the marginal cost of launching one more variation is very, very small. To your point, it's like we know what these listings need to look like. We know basically what the A plus content needs to be. We know essentially what the supplier contracts need to look like. We
Mm.
just want to do the green one. Do green one. Go. And then the team can go and do that because there's already a playbook that's kind of been established for doing it successfully. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, sure. Yes, it's always cool if you can sell something with flavors, and then you can just be creative and invent something. Yes.
Yeah, wow, that makes total sense. Tell me about your experience in particular with, I'm just curious, good, bad, ugly, as you've tiptoed into Japan, really the Asian marketplaces, Japan, UAE, and India. How are you excited about those marketplaces so far? Are you kind of doubtful? Are you seeing some traction? Like, kind of what's your current mood in those Asian marketplaces?
So we only sell in Japan
Okay.
for 2 or 2.5 years already. Yeah, we started in Japan before Helium 10 was available there, so it was like a dark spot, and we just
Wow.
added with. I said, okay, let's take our top 20 products, like 2 cases of each products, and just ship to Japan and see what happens. And this is how it goes. You come to Japan, most competitors have like 50, 100, 300 reviews. Then I come with my products, 1,000, 2,000 reviews. From week one, I am number one seller. Yes, this is how it goes in a small niche like mine, because like hookah niche is super small. In a bigger niche, maybe it's more problematic. But actually, Japan uh, is very cool market because um, people are complaining less. So we have much less returns, maybe 2% returns. Um, Japanese people are willing to pay more. So we have the highest prices in Japan and the highest margins, profits, because FBA fees are lower and prices are higher. And yeah, obviously China is close. Yes, shipping is also fast and cheap. Yeah, this is the advantage. And the market itself is very big. I think it's same size like UK around.
Yeah.
I think they overtook UK last year and became the third biggest market. So US, Germany, and then Japan, and then UK.
Wow. Now that's interesting. So like yeah, for our US based sellers that I spend a lot of time with, we always talk about how like Canada, for instance, Canada is always going to be about 5 to 10% of the US business. So if you do $1 million per year as a US Amazon seller, you could expect somewhere between 50K and 100K if you were to open a Canadian store. Historically, we always thought, okay, you know what? When you combine EU and UK, it's almost the same size as America in terms of the amount of customers. But with Brexit, it's a little bit more challenging. You have multiple marketplaces that you're juggling. And so it's interesting
Yes.
in my mind to think that Japan is now kind of taken that next spot. Like that's really interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, I think there is also a lot of potential because besides Amazon, they have another big player, Rakuten, which is made in Japan.
Yep.
And some years ago, Rakuten was bigger than Amazon, and Amazon is now bigger, and the delta gets bigger. So if in 5 years Rakuten becomes like almost not relevant like eBay, then
Right.
there is a lot of potential.
Well, I'm glad it worked. So, okay, so that's Japan. It sounds like Japan's kind of been a slam dunk. And by the way, this makes so much sense to me. You were able to get in even pre Helium 10 days, but guess what? You didn't care as much about that keyword research because you're not allowed to advertise anyway, right? You're just getting into their marketplace and selling the product, and you've got
Yes.
the reviews and you have that kind of moat already built around the brand. That's beautiful. What about like the United Emirates? Like any traction there that you're excited about, or has that been a little bit more tepid, or what?
This on the other side is super small market. So after 3 months selling there, I thought I will close it because it's more work than profit. Okay, now it's bringing some profit. It's enough to cover the cost of my team working there and
Hmm.
maybe have some extra cash for, I don't know, for having a dinner with my girlfriend. But it's just this is working for future potential, so I hope it will grow. Yes, it's like the fastest growing market on Amazon, in the Amazon space is the United Emirates, but it's easy to be the fastest growing if you're one of the smallest.
Right.
um
Yeah.
so we'll see. Yes, it's like I have an employee who takes care of this. Yes, and how also like a good technique that I use, I take somebody who has no experience on Amazon, but is willing to learn and to hustle for a obviously lower salary because he's not an expert and has no experience. And then I give them a small market where I can take it if we fuck up there, like Emirates. And then like this is your market, this is our supply chain department, these are our products, learn how this market works and bring the product there and sell them and make profit. Yes, and the profit should cover your salary.
Yeah. Wow, that's so good. You're making me. I've had a lot of discussions recently on the right kinds of expansion right now because I think the recurring thread that I've been thinking about is when the aggregators, like Razor Group in Germany or Thrasio and Heyday here in the States, when they were buying all of these Amazon businesses, they were paying outsized multiples for very simple 5 hero products, one marketplace, one supplier, one VA, no complexity, right? It was very,
Mhm.
very like insane, to be honest with you. And we're seeing some regression now where best businesses for marketing have more diversity. They probably have more products, they have more track record, and they have either a direct to consumer business where you're really leaning into TikTok and influencers to drive traffic to Shopify, or they're doing what you're describing, which is if I can understand the fundamentals of playing ball, in Germany, then I can reapply that skill set to the United Emirates or to India or to Japan or Australia or the US. And
Mhm.
I'm increasingly convinced that for most product types on Amazon, your strategy is probably the right strategy. Now, some products have very nice social media, kind of vibes to them, and maybe the direct to consumer marketing is the best path. But because of how hard Facebook meta ads are right now and how unpredictable TikTok is, I tend to believe that for most products, getting aggressive at having SOPs and going into different marketplaces around the world is probably the better expansion strategy. Like, what do you think about that?
Mm, for us, it was out of necessity, probably. Yes, it's like
Yeah.
you have no PPC, you are limited in growth, you need to expand geographically. And
Mm,
and for me, it's like playing Monopoly. Yes, I open a new country, new challenge. Yes, I like new things.
uh,
That's why we do it. And but about the aggregator business, you're right. Yes, this is like we had also a story where we tried to exit, and we had a 8 months due diligence. At the end, it didn't work out because our business was too big and too complex for any aggregator to swallow. And my employees were smarter than their employees, and they couldn't understand how we manage all the processes and how we keep traction of everything. So then, okay, and after this fail, I decided that the only way is just to get big, get
mm.
more employees, more brands, more countries, just get big. Yes.
Lovely. Well, hey, Michael, I want to land this interview here, and just want to say thank you for sharing your experience of taking a couple of kind of small failures, learning from those failures, building what's become just a monster. I mean, you guys really are the 1,000-pound gorilla in the hookah space, and you have other brands and co-ventures. One thing I want to give you a shout out for. It wasn't just from you, but I heard from multiple people when I was in Europe about this conference in Warsaw that you started called the MAD Conference, MAD. Tell us about the MAD
Mhm.
Conference. What inspired you to start this conference?
Yes, actually, it was out of a joke because I wanted to present on conferences and like to be a speaker, but not, yeah, nobody invited me. Not many people, yeah. And my friend told me, okay, make your own conference and invite yourself.
I love it.
Okay, and this was a joke. And then 3 days later, I was in the shower and okay, this is the thing, we will do it. And I thought it will be like a small thing, maybe 70 to 100 people here locally from Warsaw, Poland, and we do 1 day conference, and then I have a speaking slot. At the end, we had like 2.5 days and 300 people coming from 28 countries, and this was the biggest conference for our community, for community from Ukraine and other Russian-speaking countries. Um, yes, and now it's the second time in June from 10th to 12th in Warsaw. And it's called Med because it's I try to be not as boring as the regular conference. So we also have like uh, pretty girls dancing. We have hookah lounges, barbecue spots. We have a golf course with golf trainers and golf tournament,
Love
and
it.
it's in a spa hotel with the pool and sauna and forest nearby. So it's like mix between a conference and a Amazon camp,
I
something
love it.
like that.
I love it. I had an experience kind of like that, although they forgot the pretty girl dancer, so that's something I need to get back to them on. But I was in a show in up in the mountains on the West Coast here in the States, and it was so much fun. We did like snowshoeing, and it was more of an event to kind of be in community. Let's just connect. Let's have
Mhm.
real conversations. And even from the other people who had mentioned the MAD conference when you and I were in Prague, that's the vibe. So for anybody who's listening to this that might be either traveling in the EU or might be in the Warsaw area here in June, look up the MAD Amazon conference happening in Warsaw. Even if you don't catch it this year, I think it's worth looking at even next year. Um, yeah, Michael's got a great. Not only do you have a great sense of humor, Michael, because jokes become, what will hopefully be a 500 or 600 person conference here, right? So you've got things that are getting exploding. I hope you don't tell too many jokes. You might end up running 10 or 20 businesses. I don't know.
Actually, last time we had one Amazon speaker who is also a stand-up comedian now, and but this this was a fail actually. So nobody was laughing, so better he stays with Amazon business. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so not everybody who works at Amazon or works in this space is very funny. That's okay. It happens. It's not a big deal. So, hey, Michael,
Yes.
final question, then we'll land this particular episode. I just ask all of my friends that I get to meet with. I want to get better as a performer, as a man, as a husband, as a father, and as a leader of my companies. And I'm just wondering, what is a practice or habit or ritual or technique that you've used repeatedly that you feel like gives you an unfair return on investment in your life?
Hmm. I think when you get bigger and build a team, then you need to become a more a business owner than Amazon expert, and you need to connect with other business owners and share ideas. So my technique is going to a hookah lounge and smoking hookah 4 days per week, meeting somebody else, other sellers, exchanging ideas and helping each other in yeah, finding new people for our team, new solutions, new markets, new products. And that's how, yes, I have one partnership business that is running for the last 2 years, one more that is starting right now. This is why I have the Met conference. Yes, so smoke hookah every day.
I love it. Oh my gosh. But the wisdom of that is that, and you said this well, technical people have a hard time letting go of technical expertise. And for you, Michael, and I think this is your genius, the ability to focus on transformational relationships and improving your network and improving the ideas that you're around, and then trusting your team and releasing them, giving them the tools they need to be successful is the only way to not be the bottleneck and to slow down your growth. And so my observation of you, my friend, is that you've done a really nice job there. So that's great advice. If you want to stop being a solopreneur with a business that can only grow at the rate you can grind every single day, you should consider taking Michael's advice. And whether that's
Yes.
smoking hookah 4 days a week and networking, or building communities of CEOs to be around, or finding joint ventures, either way, you've got to hire people, trust them, get out of the way, right?
Yes, I think your business is not sitting in front of the computer, but getting out and meeting people. Yes, but only from a certain stage. Yes, when you have employees. If you're one person business, then okay, you need to hustle and sleep less.
That's right. That's right. No hookah for you. You need to stop sleeping and just grind. Because that's a good point. There are some seasons where we have to grind, grind,
Yeah,
grind. And then as we build, we have to be disciplined to get out of the way. So,
yeah,
Michael Rosenfeld, this has been an amazing experience. Thanks for joining Return on Podcast today. I'll make sure that you link to your social media. You have an Instagram link for me. I'll make sure that that's in the show notes if somebody wants to follow you. If there's if anyone wants to get a hold of you, is that probably the best way is to reach out to you on Instagram? Is that the right way to get you?
yeah. Instagram is fine, even though it's in Russian, but I speak English, German, Russian. Yes, whatever.
Okay, great. Well, as
Yeah.
long as one of those languages is the one you want to speak in, Michael's the guy. So, all right. Well, Michael, it's been great. Thanks for joining us. And for those of you guys who have made it, 37, 38 minutes into this interview, Michael and I just want to say thank you. Your time is valuable. You're on a quest to build your empire, to lead your company, and you would give us your time today. That means a lot to us. So we hope you grab a couple of nuggets here that'll make you better, that'll make your company more profitable, and that will make you a better investor, networker. Hell, maybe you need to smoke some hookah. Who knows? But until next time, we'll catch you soon. Hope you kill it. Cheers.